our guest today is Daniel DeMondesert. Daniel, welcome to 106.3.
Glad you could have me.
You were chosen because of your leadership ability and your ability to influence others. Tell me about that gift that's in you. I mean, how did that, people have recognized that about you. So how have you accomplished that? Leadership's kind of always something I've had with me. It's something I've kind of carried, in my backpack, so to speak. But with me, it's just kind of all about doing the little things, off, on and off the field, like showing up first to practice, being the last one to leave. It's, leadership to me really just means just leading by example, and, people that look up to you as their leader, they're going to see what you do and want to replicate that. So it's really just, what you want to see out of your teammates is being that. So you also serve as a mentor, and I understand that you work with kids like 4 to 5 years old, so I'm sure you hear some really interesting things from the kids. What has working with young kids taught you?
The biggest thing working with young kids has taught me is definitely their love and compassion always. That'll always strike you. And then the other thing with little kids is to kind of question everything and not just do what you're told, and do everything with a purpose, because, you tell those kids to do everything, or you're in your small groups talking about something with those kids and everything. You have to be literal with everything you say, because they're going to question everything. Yeah. And it's pretty funny, some of the responses you get from them.
And I think a kid can see your heart too. So, you can't bluff a kid too easily. You probably found that out.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at the next question here. When I left high school, I quit going to church because I moved to Fort Smith and got in the wrong crowd. And so I have a stat here from Allie. It says 70 to 80% of kids drop out of church after they leave home. Well, you're about to leave home to attend college. So tell me why you think this percentage is so high, and why it's so important to be plugged into a local body.
I don't know. I think many kids, when they're growing up in Christian households, they don't really have the option to go to church. It's their parents are always like, "You're going to church with us," and that's kind of the only option they have. So I think the reason the stat's so high is just because a lot of people, once they, leave high school or off on their own in college, it's the first time they have an option not to go. And a lot of kids at this age, they either feel like they have everything and there's nothing missing, or they feel like everything's wrong and nothing can help them. But being plugged into a church, it's so important, because it could fill those missing pieces, and at the same time, it can help the kids who really don't think they have anything there for them.
Mm-hmm. We have listeners today that are parents of high school seniors. So what advice would you give the parents who are listening on how to influence their kids to stay involved in their relationship with Jesus after they leave home and start college? Or maybe they're not going to college, maybe they're starting a job, but what advice would you have?
Now, as bad as advice as this sounds, for parents probably that have raised their kids, in a Christian household all the time, I think the best advice you can give is just to leave it up to them, because throughout faith, it's really just about your own experiences, and other people's experiences may influence you, but it's really about what you're going to come across in your life that's going to influence you.